Good morning. I think I see less number of seats occupied today. Okay. Looks like the weather improved. I and Praneeth are from Seattle, and we decided to bring some rain. And today we are going back, so we'll take the rain back. Okay, good. So to start with, today we'll be talking about healthcare connections, the Centricity APIs, the kind of investment we made in the FHIR space, FHIR APIs, and more importantly, we'll talk about our app integration with Magic Button, with BIDMC EHR. So many of you might have heard about Magic Button. So we are the Smart Viewer app that we will be demoing today. It will be integrated with BIDMC EMR. I'll speak more about it in a few slides down. Okay, one of the key things that we aim to target at is how do we use the FHIR APIs to solve problems. Many of you are using FHIR APIs to solve different problems, healthcare problems, and one of the pieces that we as part of value-based care, we look at is improve the care quality. And one of the key drivers there is providing the entire longitudinal record, patient record, to the providers so that they make the right clinical decision. So that is our way of improving the quality. And for us and rest in the industry, patient is the center, and all the applications are centered around the patient. The engine that is driving these applications is, we call that as Centricity Healthcare Connection, and majority of it is integration platform where we have FHIR implementation. And our investment, GE's investment in this space has been significant. In the last 1 year, we made a significant investment. We completely believe in FHIR, and the KLAS course 2016 and 2017 speaks for our investment and the progress that we have made in building the number of APIs, increasing the breadth of APIs, and also building the platform pieces to enable different value-add applications. And we do have the Centricity Healthcare Connections platform, and we consume it. The APIs that we are building, we are consuming it ourselves. As part of KLAS group, we have this hospital connected solution, and this is to send information between provider to provider. We also have another offering called Payer Connect, which is sending information to the payers. We are working on sending clinical information to the payers as part of CCDAs. And if we look at the breadth of APIs, we are covering different segments, different categories. The main focus has been on the clinical side. The number of APIs that we have built, we have around 35 plus APIs that we have built in the last 1 year. And going into next year, we are increasing that number. We are extending those APIs to make it richer and even better. And let me come back to BIDMC, the Magic Button. The Smart on FHIR app, the Patient Viewer app is integrated with BIDMC EMR. And the folks at BIDMC can use this app to get patient information. The key thing here is the app follows the standard Smart on FHIR specification, but it is integrated with the EMR. And it's not just BIDMC EMR. The app can also be integrated with other EMRs. And GE FHIR APIs are here. So.
Whoa, you're not saying it right. Got 3 exclamation points. You got to say FHIR APIs are here. Right?
Yes.
All right.
I like the energy that Kenny brings.
All right. So for a quick demo, there we go. So we have the Smart Patient Viewer app hosted on Azure right now. It's deployed as a standalone application. So what I'm going to do is first bring up the application and then show you how how the app works in standalone mode following the Smart specification, and how the app uses only FHIR APIs to retrieve and populate all of these cards that you see over here. The plan right now is we don't write anything custom for this app that makes it work specifically with the FHIR APIs that our product has, but it's supposed to work with any FHIR server. And as such, the UI itself doesn't know which FHIR server it's going to be talking to. So when it's actually deployed, it's deployed as a Docker container on Azure. And when the container is started, we set an environment variable that tells the UI which FHIR server it's going to talk to. So it really relies on the Smart protocols to actually kick off the login flow. So as you can see right now, it says that there's no session, so you need to log in. So when I log in, it knows that it has to talk to our sandbox. So our sandbox presents a user type selection screen that asks the user if they want to log in with a personal account or a work account. In our case, I'm going to show you how a provider would log in and how that experience looks. So let's go ahead and use so once I log in, it's hard to catch it, but once I log in, our FHIR server basically realizes that this app is requesting a user scope, and then redirects with the appropriate access token back to the UI. And following this Smart spec for standalone launch sequence, once the UI receives the authorization code, it exchanges it for a token. Let's actually also bring up the developer tools for people that are interested in seeing all the FHIR calls that it makes. So as you can see, there's nothing loaded right now. But however, the search button unlocks, in standalone mode, and so you can look up a patient, which, as you can see, will be supported with a FHIR call, and you get the full FHIR resource as a response back, because this provider has access to search for some patients. So once I select the patient, the app is going to make a whole bunch of other calls as well, and just a testament to the APIs, which Kedar was showing in his presentation. It calls several FHIR APIs to retrieve all that information and populate the cards. And as you expand each problem, for example, you can see who entered the problem, and for example, medications, you can see the last prescription and who signed the prescription. And there's also a view of all of the documents that this patient, this patient's record has, and basically a summary of what type of document it is. Now, of course, this is the current state of the UI, but we do plan to add more features to it as we go. But we plan to stick with the FHIR APIs. It comes straight from our FHIR API server, and at this point, this is calling our sandbox. But the FHIR APIs that our product will have the same set of FHIR APIs. So regardless of which server it's talking to, it should get the same. It should get the same type of response format back. Just to show you that you can, let's say that you're looking for a different patient, and of course, a different patient gets a different set of medications and problems and whatnot. And we also have filtering capabilities, obviously for problems based on clinical status. So you can look for specific status of problems. For example, I think that this patient doesn't have any problems that are not active, so you don't see anything. But and of course, medications as well, and allergies as well. But the idea behind this is, we wanted to show you that, our product does implement the full FHIR DSTU2 spec, and we do have support for a lot of resources, and some really cool apps can be built using this. In fact, this app was built using our developer portal, which where you can go and sign up for a developer account and then sign up for credentials and register your app. In fact, this app itself consumes the said credentials to make this possible and to deploy this out to the cloud. So, yeah.
We encourage you to go try the developer portal. This FHIR APIs are part of the new release, and that will be released in the next week. So the FHIR APIs are available. 35 plus FHIR APIs are available, and the app that you have seen is a standalone, but we did not get a chance to show an integrated view. But DIDMC in the month of January, they are integrating this, and we'll be adding more features. This is just chart summary. We'll be adding flow sheets, documents, the entire patient view. The entire patient view. So we'll be adding more features, the chart summary, documents, flow sheets, histories, so that a provider who is using BIDMC, EMR, they click on the magic button, and then they don't have to go through this launch sequence. The patient context get passed, and the app will open up, and the patient information will be available. So, and more importantly, this is an app for consumption. We also use FHIR APIs internally. You heavily generate CCDAs to send the clinical care information across. Thank you.